What is going to be the key variables for them for success in the Southeastern Conference? What are the big questions for the Sooners? I think the number one question we all got to ask right now is, can they protect Jackson Arnold? Because you bring in pretty much a whole new offensive line. Now, I love Bill Bedenbaugh. I think he's going to be able to get the most out of whatever unit they have out there. I trust him, but at the same time, if you can't protect Jackson Arnold, in the Big 12, that's one thing. In the SEC, that's a completely other beast. Because in the SEC, we've seen it now. One, it's a line of scrimmage conference. Two, the guys that are coming off the edge out there, from a James Pierce to a Harold Perkins to, insert whatever player you want there that's a freak show off the edge, makes your life a little bit difficult. So if Jackson Arnold struggles early on in the year, make sure we evaluate the context for him. Make sure we're assessing what he's getting on that offensive line and how much time he has to deliver the football. Because if they can protect Jackson Arnold, if they do give him a chance to read the defense and feel comfortable and confident back there in the pocket, we've said it a lot. They have, I believe, one of the most slept-on wide receiver rooms in not just the SEC, and all of America. I'll say it again. Jaleel Farouk, Deion Burks was handing out T-shirts and juice boxes after the spring game as he put on a clinic. I love Nick Anderson. I love Andrew Anthony when he's healthy. So all of those pieces, I think, make it very difficult as a defense to give the proper attention to all those weapons. Because I'm telling you right now, I don't think you're going to feel good about your chances single covering Deion Burks. I don't. If you do that, there will be a lot of Oklahoma's fight song being played. The other thing that has to happen for the defense to probably respect Jackson Arnold a little bit more as well, outside of just having proper protection, what would help the offensive line even further is if they're able to have success running the football. And the thing that I'm watching for Oklahoma, can they run the football effectively in zone run schemes? Now, not to get too X's and O's in this segment with you, but zone run schemes make the offensive line's job a touch easier. O-line's job is never easy, but it's a touch easier in the zone run scheme because you're blocking an area as opposed to a man. And so think about it this way. If I have a zone run called, I just have to make sure that I get a hat on a hat. I don't have to pancake my guy for us to have success and have a big-time run. And the backfield that Oklahoma has a lot of speed and explosion to where if you give me a little bit of daylight, and I'm Gavin Sawchuk, like I'm getting north and south pretty quickly here, and I'm going to be able to pick up some yards. If they have success running the football, again, it mellows out the defense. You can't come off the edge quite as authoritatively if you're an opposing SEC defense because you're not sure if that zone run is going to go right under you. You'll have problems. So just keeping a defense honest is going to be massive for protecting Jackson Arnold. The offensive line is crucial. The run game is crucial because if they can do that, get the ball to playmakers and let Jackson Arnold develop and progress and be comfortable as a five-star kind of quarterback, which we all saw him be at the high school level, there could be some really good things that happen for the Sooners in 2024. I'll leave it at that. Now, the thing that nobody's questioning in 2024 for Oklahoma is the personnel they have on defense. Now, personnel and product are different things, but Oklahoma brings back north of 70% production from last year's squad that allowed right around 24 points a game. I had talked to somebody yesterday at SEC Media Days. We were kind of just buzzing around the floor here, and he made a great point that we agree with wholeheartedly is that Brent Venables did not get a football lobotomy coming from Clemson to Oklahoma. We echoed that sentiment last year when they struggled defensively. We reinforced that sentiment this past season when they had success defensively, and the fact they have so much coming back production-wise from last year's unit and their leadership in Billy Bowman and Danny Stutzman means the continuity and the attitude is not just staying the same. It'll be improved upon because of all those guys understanding what this defense is all about, both schematically and attitude-wise. And when you have guys that are able to not just do the 100-level coursework, but the 200-level coursework for this defense, that's when you get really dangerous. That's when you can be a little bit more complex in your scheme. That's when you can put a little bit more into the game plan because you're not having to continue to teach the layups. You can get a little bit more creative and really put offenses on their heels. So another thing that'll support Oklahoma in that regard is the offense may not have to score 40 a game for you to have success. There might be some rock fights you get into because of how good I think this defense is going to be. You can row a boat and have success. You can't move anywhere in the water if you're taking on water. And I think that's Oklahoma in 2024. If they had problems on defense, I would be very, very skeptical of Oklahoma going into this season. I don't think that's going to be the case. Just because you don't have an offense that's going to score as many as, maybe you'd like them to game in and game out early on at least, I think Oklahoma will still be in position to be able to compete in a lot of these football games. Now, here's the big question I have, and I think a lot of the media has as well going into 2024 and just all of the college football public period. What is going to be the response for Oklahoma to the week in and week out grind of the SEC? Because I have no shade to throw at the Big 12. I love the Big 12. I think it'll be one of the most exciting conferences in college football this upcoming season. But the week in and week out grind is very different in the SEC. Like last season, you play Texas, you got to be able to, still have a solid output the next week, but you're not playing another version of Texas the week after. This upcoming season, you play Tennessee, which will be a highly emotional game. It'll be Josh Heupel's return to Norman. It'll be a pretty good matchup from a roster talent perspective, I believe. But then you go to Auburn and play in Jordan-Hare, which is a place that Jackson Arnold said that Carson Beck told him it's cursed. And judging on what's happened there just in the history of that stadium, I don't think he's that far off. There's no letdown available there. You play Alabama. Guess what you get after that? You go to Baton Rouge to play LSU. Week in and week out, it's going to be a grind. And that's one thing physically on your body, which is the obvious part, but also emotionally. Competitively, can you be as close to your best every single week? And that's the task that all college football teams have in front of them when they go into the season. But especially for Oklahoma, with this roster and this schedule, and quite frankly, being new to the SEC, it's tough to prepare for it. It's tough to really be able to execute until you're actually in the trenches. So it's a marathon. It's a marathon with Brent Venables. It's a marathon in the SEC. And then going back to what I said at the top of the segment, the entry point matters for Oklahoma and how we assess them. Because if they struggle their first year in the SEC, and struggling, I think, would look somewhere like 7-5 based on what Vegas says about them. If they struggle and have that kind of a season, a lot of people will be very quick to say, told you, it's the SEC. Told you, they can't match up to that. Told you, it's just a different beast. Is it that? Or is it that they have a new starting quarterback? Or is it that they have a brand new offensive line? I would be very, very careful for all of us to not fall back into the punchline culture we fell into Brent Venables' first year at Oklahoma. It wasn't that he's a bad coach. It was that he was trying to install his system and get his personnel on defense. Same deal with this upcoming season. If they struggle, and I'm not calling my shot right now, we'll do that a little bit next week. If they struggle their first year in the SEC, I would be slow to say Brent Venables is a bad coach, doesn't have what it takes in the SEC. Maybe, just maybe, it's going to take a second. They're not entering into the SEC coming off a college football playoff berth. They have a good roster. They'll be competitive. But if they can protect Jackson Arnold, and if they can develop that competitive excellence to week in and week out, have the stamina to be their very best, going from games against Alabama and going to LSU, going from Texas and then South Carolina and then at Ole Miss, if they can have that stamina, then there'll be a problem. Hey, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.